fella.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Dead Hang Chats with Kyle and Brent.
How are you guys?
Here we are in 2025. The festive season has come and gone, and how was it, big fella?
Mate, it was my first sober one.
Yes.
Yes,
Proud of you.
Yeah, I had a Christmas party, when was it? I think the 14th of December. Gave it a red hot nudge.
As you do.
Right. So then I decided after that to just give the piss up. So
Yeah.
I thought I could have done it on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but I thought I'll challenge myself, stop it. If I can go through Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, because my brother-in-law we like to have a bit of a barney on that day too, and then go through New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I did, and I still haven't touched a drop of alcohol, so feeling good.
Fantastic.
I mean,
proud of you.
it's 500 degrees in here right now,
Certainly is. I'm sweating it up.
we get the detox, but so I'm feeling good, man. It's been a good thing, and I'm just going to keep rolling with it, eh?
That's so good, mate. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with alcohol and how it's been, since that journey began, and then what's taken you to the mindset of changing that, and what are the benefits of that been for you?
Yeah, well, so for me, man, it's always been a bit of a slippery slope with the old alcohol. I do like to give it a nudge, and me not drinking now, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I don't not love it either. But for me, I last year, for the last couple of years, I've been laying off it compared to what I used to.
Yep.
But how it used to work with me, I don't drink during the week.
Yes.
I'd have a couple on Saturday, not then Sunday, feel all right, and I'll be like, oh, that's all right. And then the following Saturday will come around, I'd have 4 or 5.
Yep.
And then I'd feel a little bit shit on Sunday, so get the beer buzz again, and that will carry me through Sunday. And then Monday, come into work, train, feel like shit.
Yep.
Angry at myself because I didn't give it 100%. So it's been a bit of a process of laying off, and I made a decision last year. I've got a lot that I want to do this year in 2025, and just acknowledging the fact that alcohol slows me up.
Right.
Because I do, when I'm not drinking or partying, I get things done, I get it sorted, I'm focused, and generally I'm just all-round better person. Being, training wise, I'm very routine-ish.
Right.
So when the routine stops or I'm drinking, that throws me out. Great at the time, don't get me wrong.
Gives you those blurred lines.
Yeah, I'm having the time of your fucking life.
Of course.
But there's that ripple effect, I'm not really present with the kids because I'm hungover. So all that kind of stuff I thought about it, and I had as I said, the Christmas party had a good nudge, and then I said to Tara the next day, I'm like, that's it. I was a week in.
Fantastic.
From that, and then I've just rolled in, so it's been about 5 weeks now.
Well, brother.
Hitting it on, mate.
That's awesome, mate.
So I'm going to go for 60, 90 days. I'm just going to keep going, man. Until I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish this year, then who knows? Maybe I might have a couple here and there and go from there. I did nearly slip last week, but see, my thing is, I was at an Italian restaurant, pasta, pizza, wood fire.
Setting the scene.
I said to T, do you reckon we should have a glass of red? She's like, oh, then she's like, nah. I was like, sweet. So,
You just sometimes need that other person.
yeah, and I was like, so I got a ginger beer.
Yep.
And then I had a lemon lime and bitters.
We'll see, guys.
But my mates were there, they were drinking, and they're like, man, you're not drinking? I'm like, no. So we left, and then they carried on into their adventure.
That resilience piece is fantastic.
Yeah, so it's been good.
So, mate, prior to your, you're working in a new industry over the last 2 years, the fitness world.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's changed a lot of your mindsets and perspective on things.
Yeah.
But prior to that, you were a tradie, working in the automotive industry.
Yes.
And how was the influence of alcohol on you when you were working in that field?
Oh, well, I used to work with my dad.
Yep.
And, my he's old school, he's 72, 71, either.
Yep.
He works 14, 15 hours a day as he used to, we both did. And then it'd be a couple of beers after work at the workshop, drive home, get a 6-pack, and I'll do that every day. Slippery slope.
And it becomes the norm.
It does, it's accepted.
Yes.
My dad drinks every day. I think my mum does or doesn't, I'm not too sure, but Dad's in that old school mentality. That's cool for Dad, so, but that's what we used to do.
Yep.
Friday night, it's like your bar, I'd grab a long neck
Weeks
on the
over.
way home.
Yep.
It's a half an hour drive to Bingara. I'd be murdering that on the way home. Don't do that at home, kids. But yeah, so the trade life, it was acceptable.
Yes.
Tara's not a big drinker, so she wasn't really interested in the drinking side of things. I mean, she didn't really mind that I did, but she's like, well, you know, why are you doing it if you're training? Because I've always trained.
Yep.
So I was always counteracting what I was putting into. So being a tradie, man, it's a very slippery slope. Like, maybe the difference is with some other tradies that, like my mates, they never had the workplace where they could sit back and have a couple of beers at,
Yes.
at the jobs or at their factory unit. So they opted to go to the pub.
Yeah.
And I used to do, when I lived in Campbelltown, Thursday nights, Blackstone Road, I was at the pub because Tara used to work till 9 o'clock, and that was the pub lifestyle with the tradies.
Sure.
And mate, concreters, it's accepted.
Yeah.
And if that's cool, what your decision you want to do, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but for me, looking back at it now, it's like it can lead down to unhealthy habits and not breaking those habits for a long time because you get stuck in that way. And alcohol's a depressant, mate.
100%.
You know, it's what do we used to call it in the pub? It was the two schooner rule.
Yep.
You'd have 2 schooners and you'd either go home or you'd have 15.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're all guilty of
Yeah,
that.
and
It's like all in or nothing.
that's right. You pump through it. So it took me a long time to realise my relationship with alcohol.
Yes.
You know, I can get it, you know, out. It can be too much. You get aggressive.
Yes.
You know, you're always bubbling, but I've got a very short fuse, so that used to enhance that. Yeah, you would think so, but yeah, it's where I couldn't control it, and then it becomes uncontrollable. You know, so that's why I really, in the last couple of years when I opened up the gym, I really thought back, and it was a process because I know how my brain works.
Yep.
So it was just about easing out and
Small steps.
small steps. And you do lose friends. You don't lose them. You grow apart from
Yes.
or away from them. You grow.
Yeah.
Not that, you know, I don't look down at people that still drink. No problem. But
Yeah, of
I'm not. It's different for me to put myself into a situation now if we're going to go to a pub and smash schooners because I'm not there in my life anymore. You know,
Yes.
I've got other things that I want to try and do.
Yeah.
So it is slippery slope.
And I suppose we're all, I mean, well, you're 40, I'm touching on 40.
Yeah.
And I think both of us are guilty of having that lifestyle, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, alcohol's pretty much had a hold on me for the better part of, I'd say, 20 years.
Yeah.
Not that it was a co-generational thing from my parents. Like, yeah, of course, my dad was a Sparky.
Yeah.
And he loved a beer, but I couldn't even count on 2 hands the amount of times I remember him being pissed.
Yeah.
But I suppose it fell out, for me personally, I fell into that sort of gap, if you like, from, you know, work and people, you know, the relationships you make within your workplace with work colleagues.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, playing footy on the weekends, and that again leads to, you know,
That
common,
culture.
The common divider there is, you know, we play footy and then we're going to the pub after the game, and especially when you're single or younger and don't have any responsibilities
Yes.
such as children and things like that, you just only really live for yourself.
Yeah.
And that again led me into progressive years of, I suppose, what they call binge drinking.
Yeah.
Mostly on the weekends. That'd start on a Friday night, go into Saturday, and then maybe even a couple of Sunday sippers. And then, you know,
hair of the
next thing you know, you're going to work on Monday feeling like complete dog shit.
Haven't rested.
And then, you know, trying to. I was, you know, in my sort of early 20s and things like that, I was quite proactive in, you know, jiu-jitsu and martial arts and keeping busy during the week. But that whole Friday afternoon to Sunday was party time.
Yeah.
And it's taken me the better part of 20 years to realise that I probably had a bit of a problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
Even till the end of last year, it wasn't unnormal for me to have maybe 3 long necks of an afternoon, if not more, which is kind of scary to admit because that's probably borderline alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I have to say from yourself, mate, like you've given me a bit of a new chapter to think about, and what I'm trying to do now is reduce my alcohol throughout the week, so not drinking it all throughout the week, and then trying to reduce that on the weekends as well to invest more time with the family and the missus and the kids. And also, for me, it's given me such a sense of clarity and thinking better.
Yes.
So I'm going into the week a lot more organised. What I've found as strategies around that too is it's always the hardest part for me is that that 5 o'clock to 7:30 window in the evening.
Yeah, kids at witching hour.
Witching hour of the kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you might be bored at home, so the next best bet is to, tuck up to the Bodlo and get a few beers and sort of numb the boredom, if you like.
Yes, that's right.
And I think it's about really thinking differently about that perspective and investing in what surrounds you, and that might be your partner or your children or physical activity or whatever, because there's a lot of other and better mechanisms that we can use instead of just sitting down and having a beer.
And it's almost like being aware. You've got to be aware of the triggers and the decisions around of what will make you do that. So it's like, as you said, I'm bored. So it's like the habit, if you created that habit for so long, I'll go up, have a bit of a beer buzz, cook dinner, everything's a bit more exciting now. So it's like you've been more aware of, all right, I'm getting around to this time, what can I do to change that boredom? All right, kids, let's go out, kick the ball.
And for me, and probably for yourself as well, it's about keeping busy.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep busy, then you get easily fall back into your, let's say, addictions.
Yeah.
And it can get a hold on you quite easily. Like what can turn to, a beer or two after work and then lead to a 6-pack, which then leads
back into that habit.
To 3 long necks, which then leads to 5 long necks.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, you're waking up and the next day thinking, fuck, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with me. It's like I'm great, I'll keep going, and then something will come up, and this is where I went wrong before. Something would come up and I'm like, you know what, I've done a month or I've done a couple of months, I'm good to go out now, and I deserve my...
exactly.
And it's now I've changed that thinking, because I'm thinking, is that going out? If I want to go out, I could go out for dinner and then go home.
Sure.
I don't need to go out and put myself into that position, because is it going to serve me the next day? Is it going to serve my purpose for the week ahead of what I've got to do and what jobs I've got to execute through the week? Now I'm aware of that stuff. And it is going to be hard for the first 3 months.
Sure.
But as that 3 months gets past, you find different things to do.
Of course.
I don't evolve myself around drinking. So I used to always, all right, kids, Sunday, come on, let's go out to the pub for lunch. Oh, we don't want to go to the pub. Well, let's go to a restaurant.
Yep.
What about we just go to a picnic down at the beach? Oh, well, I can't really take a long neck down there. So I used to push for that restaurant, pub, because then I'd like to go into the pokey room, and then instead of a family dinner, I'm out there just smashing schooners and. Do you know what I mean?
No, you alienate yourself.
And I'll be getting people that I knew that would be on the same level, and come on, we're going to go to the pub, let's go. And and that's what I used to do. So now it's just being aware of, I don't want to do that anymore. Or rather, if I'm going to go, like I can go to the pub now and just have my meal and go on, but before I couldn't.
I'm guilty of the same thing, mate. Like, on the weekends it would often be, same thing, let's go to the pub. Not thinking let's go out and have lunch nice, but there's beer there, and I can knock back a few then, and that might lead into a few more when I get home. Which is what I'm looking forward to. There's much more to look forward to than that.
Yeah, that's right.
And the same thing goes for me in my journey. I suppose I got to that point where every day I was working in the belief in my head that I can't wait till 5 o'clock because that's when I'm going to have a few beers. And that's how. Fucked up is that?
I used to not eat on Saturday when I used to work with the old man. I used to do half a day. I'd have me breakfast and then I'd smash some long necks on the way home, and then I'd smash 6 beers, and I wouldn't eat because if I ate, well then I didn't want to drink beer anymore. So I'd drink me beer till dinner time. Yeah. And then once I had dinner, then I'd get onto the spirits. I was having a fucking great time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kids are like, Dad's having a ball. But I wasn't doing being a dad either, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I was
to your full capacity.
Not to my full capacity, yeah.
And it takes us some time to, we're
to admit it.
We're done.
I was not ego, I was very arrogant about that.
Of course. That's the word.
And you know what it was? It was that going back to the stigma around, well, I work 6 days a week.
I deserve this.
I deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of people get confused by, or you can have that. You can have your one glass at the end of the week, but just have one glass.
Yeah.
And that's why people don't understand why they're lower vibes and they're not, they're in that rut.
And what are some of the, in your newfound journey, I should say, what have been some of the strategies that you've used to push through those pressures of potentially cracking again and falling back into the game?
That was like the only time I really kind of cracked is because I'm very headstrong once I'm on a mission.
Yeah.
So the last time I did this, then I learnt the lesson of, for the time being, it's just not going out and falling into, oh, come on, man, come on, Kyle, you love to party.
It's that peer pressure.
Come on, man. It's not going to be the same without you. So me being back then like a yes man, all right, come on, like fuck it, I've done
Guilty
4 weeks. I'll just get back onto the bandwagon Monday, which I would. I wouldn't then drink for 2 weeks. And then I'd be like, all right, there's another event. I had a fucking great time there last time. They're going again.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, I'm back into the trap of going to events every weekend. Oh, let's go to the pub.
Yep.
Come on. So it's just been aware. For me, it was just really dove into the training and the benefits of like sleeping so much better, waking up not like on the back foot or like trying to get out of bed. I'm bouncing out of bed like a yo-yo. So
how's that changed your relationship with Tara?
Yeah, good, because we're getting things done
together.
I'm not laying on the lounge. The kids, like, through the holidays, we were out every day at the beach, man. Where if I had been Christmas Day, we're at my mum and dad's. Christmas Eve, we're at my place. So I had 2 full days there. Boxing Day, if I had been on the piss like I would have been in the previous years, I wouldn't have done anything on Boxing Day. And the kids would have just sat up, like, right, play with your toys now, and then I would have laid up on the lounge. But we'll bang up 8 o'clock beach, had a mad half a day, come back 2 o'clock, they were playing with their toys. And it was the same with New Year's Eve, man. We took the kids down to watch the Wollongong fireworks, which was great because I was present. And I thought if I'd have been drinking and carrying on, the kids would have been somewhere getting minded, and I wouldn't have been coming home till 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And then just been a cooked unit all day. So, it was pretty good, man. It was a bit of an eye-opener. So, and, just little things for me, those little wins, I was like, I wouldn't have done that, a couple of years back.
Do you think it's changed your attitude in regards to responses within parenting? And
absolutely. Not short fused.
Yep.
Got time, patience, listening.
Yep.
So there's a whole thing that people like, look, don't get me wrong, the kids still can do me head in, but I'm 100%. A lot more tolerant, you know what I mean? So I think if people are watching this and they're wondering why they are fatigued and feeling depressed and not right and everything is fully collapsing on their world, maybe just take a look at what's the toxic things that are making that.
Yeah, I suppose we've got a lot of in life comes a lot of stresses and tragedies and things like that. You might have relationship problems, you may have the loss of a loved one or a friend, work stresses, family stresses, and we often bounce back to this sort of substance use, whatever that may be.
I need a drink.
Of a coping mechanism.
Yeah, instead of tackling it head on.
And that's, as men, we're always guilty of, that stigma around that saying, oh, look, I don't have to show my full emotions here. I'm a male, I can get through this, I'm tough. Yeah. That real strong exterior. Yeah. And often or not, our coping mechanisms are actually our demise. Yeah. Because when we're, as you said, alcohol is a depressant, amongst other things. And instead of looking at facing a feeling or emotion head on, we try to push that away and think, oh, these beers or whatever that may be are going to drown that out so I don't have to deal with that right now. Yeah. At the end of the day, that feeling's never going away.
No, it's there tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I used to do. It'd be, fuck it, I'll have a couple of beers and then I'd forget about everything and then be like, wow, I'm having a great time. Wake up in the morning, I'm like,
and then comes the anxiety.
Yes, and then that's what used to follow through. Instead of now, like, maybe train another day, like another time in the day. Yeah. Exercise is an amazing thing for you.
And it doesn't have to be, throwing barbells around
just or... walk.
It can just go for a walk.
Yeah.
I've found for myself personally in my sort of, I say healing journey or mindfulness journey, journaling is a big thing for me. Not that I do it every day, just when I feel like I'm getting heightened emotions. Yeah.
Pen to paper.
I will go I just need 5 to 10 minutes away, or I'll wake up that extra 15 minutes earlier. Yeah. Whip up a coffee. Yeah. Go out the back deck and just start to listen to some motivational type stuff. Some people might think that's a wank. Yeah. But for me, it works. Yeah. Listen to some sort of motivational thing, and then jotting down anything and everything.
Yeah.
And I often sort of go back through my journal. As I said, I don't do it every day. It's maybe a couple of times a week. It might be once a month, just when I'm feeling
what you're feeling.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, and if you go back some of the pages,
yeah.
some of that shit's fucking dark. Oh, seriously.
Yeah, but that's how, so if you didn't do that,
yeah,
you're carrying that around.
Exactly.
So it's like you can either drink your problems away or run away from them, or substance abuse, or a tablet doesn't fix anything.
No.
It just masks the pain, it numbs you.
In a lot of ways, in a lot of things.
In a lot of things, man. Like, you know, or you
it's like if we've got a headache, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take Panadol.
Yeah.
That fixes it.
Yeah.
That's probably not the best analogy. But what I'm saying is if you've got something hurting within internally, or something that you want to express or get out, I think it's important to, if you've got that, you know, that close relationship with your partner, to vent
network
to them,
or to talk,
or to vent to them, or I mean, this is exactly the platform that we're trying to build right here,
yeah.
right? We're trying to break the stigma of having to hold things in, and you and me are not straighty 180s.
No,
anything
been around.
Yeah,
been around. But I've learnt a lot of things too.
Yeah.
Got a lot of life experiences, man.
I've also gotten into, which I was never probably till about 2 years ago, is reading as well.
I do read.
Again, I'm not a one book, one day type guy.
No, I read a lot of Ant Middleton stuff. I got to read things that, you know, I can relate
resonate
to.
with.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not going to read a book where it's about sci-fi and that, because that's shit. I'd rather watch a movie. I'd rather do that and switch off somewhere else. For me, for a book, I've got to really resonate with what I'm into and what I want, what I'm searching for, because for me that's what a book is.
Yeah.
So if I feel like I need to work like with Ant Middleton, you know, positive negativity in your body, how to create and, you know, take that negative thought, fear bubble, I've read that. It's great reading to help. You know, that bloke was in the military. I mean,
100%.
He killed thousands of people and went to jail and rose up. You know, like from where he was, and same as, you know, the guy that we come at, Jeff Morgan. You know, stuff that he's done, man, has been amazing. I listen to a lot of his stuff, you know, and it's great because it doesn't hurt to listen. It's what your actions do after you've been told something.
And it gives you some clarification on some of the thoughts that you may be feeling, some of the stupid actions that you may have made in your life thus far.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's normal.
Yeah.
And nobody's perfect, and we've all fucked up. And
it's how you bounce back from it, man. You can
course.
either sit in that victim state and drink and feel sorry for yourself,
or face it head on,
make an action and do it.
I mean, and similar to what you've done with your with your alcohol journey, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. On days like this, you've knocked a couple of skills.
I'm sweating right here, right now.
But I'm not into that point in my life at the moment. As I said, I've made a goal through this year that I want to really tick off some big things, man. So I've looked back, and I looked forward and thought, well, doing what I've been doing, is that going to serve my goal? Am I going to execute those goals with drinking? And, you know, it's not about being antisocial or, you know, not antisocial, not about isolating myself and being a little, you know, hermit. But I've got to prioritise what's important for 2025, and unfortunately drinking's not on the number one list at the moment.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. And I've noticed a difference in me and myself, mate. Like, I'm clearer, I'm a lot happier person, I work a lot better. You know, not a lot of people would probably know if I've been hungover or that, but I know I'm not at my full ability, you know? Yeah,
100%.
So it's just about taking action.
So what about, mate, tell me, I've just did a bit of stat research. I came in with some ammo today.
Yeah.
So I read a stat that around 43% of Aussie blokes have experienced a mental episode or a mental illness within their life, and that doesn't have to be a prolonged mental illness. That could be anything from a small period of time, 12 months or so, up to a lengthy period of time. Can you tell me if you've ever?
Oh yeah, I've had a few of them.
Let's go.
My one where I really it was when my brother-in-law passed away. Shock, he had a bike accident, and back then I was, you know, in a different mindset. This was about 5 years ago, so it wasn't talked about. I didn't talk about it, kept everything in, and completely went right off the rails. Drinking and partying and just like a lunatic. And I look back now and I'm thinking, fucking, how did I survive that? But back when I was in that, I thought I was okay. Right? I thought I had everything under control. But it was fucking 8 months of complete destruction, self-destruction. And I learned a lot about myself.
And what was that? light bulb moment?
Tara walking out, she left.
Wow, okay.
So she left for a week, took the kids, and then when I sat at home and was like, fuck,
Yeah.
really reflect on what I was doing and how I was doing things. So that was a big eye opener, and that's when I really started making a lot of changes into my life.
Yep.
So as I said, that was 5 years ago. So it wasn't happened overnight.
Yep.
But I did do a lot of work, and you know what? Even a couple of times prior, I still slipped back into some maniac behaviour.
Sure.
But it's been a long time since I haven't. So that was a big turning point. I look back on that now and I think what I could have done different. I probably should have let a lot of people in instead of closing a lot of people out.
Yeah.
And acting that alpha male. I'm all right. I've got everything under control. Like I've got this.
Yep.
But I didn't. So that's.
Did you ever come to the point where you actually, broke down within yourself and?
Yeah, I was just like a mess.
Yep.
And then that's when I just rebuilt myself and I did a lot of work, man.
Yep.
Like I did a lot of work. I did a lot of actions.
What was the strategies there?
I had to really get all the toxic out of my system, where there was a lot of toxic friends around me too. I had to break away from that.
Yep.
And I had to do a lot of inner work, where it was, I wouldn't say meditation, but it's hard to explain how I did it. It was like a lot of I think a lot and I can do the processes without really having to talk to a lot of people.
Sure.
I kind of just shut down a bit and just went through the motions. I was very quiet, done a lot of family stuff with my kids and Tara. And then the main thing was I just was away from a lot of toxic friends and toxic behaviours. And once I cancelled that out, it was quite easy to see where I went wrong.
Yep.
Because I was clear-headed.
Sure.
So when I wasn't clear-headed, which was the alcohol abuse, some drugs abuse too, it was everyone else's fault.
Yep.
When it was Tara's fault. Like I could have sat there and blamed her and been that arrogant man and be like, fuck you.
Yep.
This was but it was really taking responsibility of my own actions.
You have to.
And going forward of like, well, do I really want to live my life like this? Yes, he's gone. Me doing what I'm doing ain't changing shit, and it ain't helping me.
And this is just my perception, that was the universe throwing you an opportunity to either
keep being a fuckwit,
and your life will go in this complete
two-schooner rule. It was either going to go that way. I was at the crossroads,
Correct, mate.
So yeah, just I had to do a lot of thinking, man. For me, it was a lot of thinking. I didn't do a lot of talking, but just a lot of thinking, and just really broke some old habits, man.
And since then, what do you think your strategies and helpful things to do around grief and those sort of feelings?
Talk.
Yeah.
Talk. Like you can think you can take anything on, but there is going to be you've got to have you're going to break.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how mental strong you are and how tough you are. Now, when I say talk it out. Sit in that space for a bit of the grief and have that victim, but also get out of that as well.
Of course.
And
I think it's important in those sort of conversations, especially if it's with your partner or somebody who's close to you. That might be a friend or whoever that may be. We're always animals that are quickly easy to judge other people, but we don't want to judge ourselves.
That's right.
And I think to be real is to judge yourself and own your indiscrepancies and faults and feelings. And we're quite happy to gossip and put shit on other people, but truth be told, we've all got some stuff inside ourselves as well that we need to talk about.
I can know.
And I think it's important when you're having those conversations, whoever that may be, is to say it's important for this just to be a listening conversation. I don't want any feedback right now. I just want to get it off my chest. If you can just listen, because I suppose as men we always have this expectation to provide and be the tough ones within our marriage, and
we got to be built like concrete. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Everything's got to bounce off you. You feel like you've got to be in front of everyone that nothing's
But I
going to
believe
hurt.
like 9 times out of 10, if you can open that conversation with your partner and have that that openness together to say, look, I've got a few things going on. I just want to talk to you about it. I don't want to be judged on it. It's probably going to take me some time to push through it.
Yeah.
But I really need your support.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah. 100%. Or whatever that support you might need off that person.
Because again, in that relationship setting, we can quite often, we may be both in a heightened state.
Yeah.
And that's not a good communication.
It can either go two ways. You're either going to support each other or he's going to fucking kill each other.
Exactly.
Because one's blaming the other one's blaming the other. Because there's no communication.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the key is communicate, try and talk through if that's what you need to do.
Yep.
As I said, for me, I had to go through my own process, and then I we talked with Tara and this is that, but I had to process what I had to do first. You know what I mean? So that was how it worked for me. But as I said, other people might just need that conversation, that communication.
Yeah.
You know?
And do you think, I mean, as you've mentioned, so in that grief sort of setting, you turn to alcohol and other substances to numb the feeling.
Yeah, just blocked it out.
But never went away.
No.
No.
And that's what was the root of that was what stemmed all my behaviour.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was. Because I was off my dial.
Yep.
But that was the root of the cause of all my antisocial behaviour in that time. Because I didn't accept it. I said to everyone, yeah, I've accepted it, it's all good. Like to be the...
And do you think internally you had some sort of increased aggression around not venting out those feelings?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then that's what I used, through the training that used to get released, but I was just angry, man. Just bottom line, I was just angry.
Fuck!
Yeah. And that was like, even as a child, I was angry, so you got to learn through that, you know what I mean? So I had to stop being angry and just not take it out on the world and do the work to...
So what would what would your advice be to, let's talk about the younger demographic from, let's go as early as 15 up to let's say 45, that sort of age demographic, because that's sort of a statistical demographic that they look at on stats and things like that. What would your advice to that age demographic of men, boys, how to deal with stresses and feelings of feeling overwhelmed and grief? And
Look, I think what they got to do is, the pub, if they go into pubs to do all that and drink with their friends, that's a minute fix.
Yeah.
Right? And if your friends can't have a conversation, they ain't your friends. If you can't have a conversation and say, hey, I'm feeling a bit fucked up, or your friends can't pick up on your energy that you're down, well, maybe you need to starters at your friends.
Yep.
If you can't go to your parents, or if you can go to your girlfriend, you got a girlfriend at the time, talk it out, man.
Yep.
Talk it out, because the antisocial behaviour and being angry don't get you anywhere.
No. You can get to demise.
That's right. And then it can lead into other things. Just have a chat.
Yeah.
Quite easy.
Again, this is the sort of platform that we're trying to build here with the Dead Hang Chats. And I think hopefully we can get some more followers and things like that.
Yeah, get them in there and get them on.
Let's I don't know how much time we've got left, but let's talk about some positive things now, mate. So you talked about your 2025 goals or plans.
Yeah, so
let's
mate,
hear 'em.
I want to just try and get into... What I want to do is try and set this year up to make some more passive income, set myself
We're all chasing
up.
that.
We're all chasing that. Set myself up, want to get maybe an investment property by the end of the year.
Beautiful.
Just, get some things done so when I'm maybe 45 to 50, I don't have to be working so hard.
Yeah.
And it's doable if you get yourself in around the right circle. And then just stay focused on that and just family time, man, and just keep doing what I'm doing, but just really hone in on the business and hone in on some, some more income and investment properties and set yourself up for later times,
Beautiful.
What about yourself?
Yeah, mate. Well, 2025, what do they say? New year, new me.
Yeah.
Definitely want to push a little bit harder on my new relationship with alcohol. That's I've even just over the last few weeks felt so much better.
Yeah.
In positive thinking. My reactions in regards to our kids has been a lot more settled, I suppose, instead of quickly falling into that aggression piece.
Yeah.
I'm learning to communicate better in those responses.
Yeah.
And that's in turn making me feel like a better dad,
Yes.
stepdad. In regards to my businesses, I feel a lot more proactive within them, going into each day a lot more organised and things like that. So that's one thing that I really want to continue and push harder on. Again, just more family time and more investment in my partner and our kids as a collective.
Yeah.
We've got to maybe spend some more time down at our caravan, which we haven't really spent any time at over the last couple of years, just with the life stresses.
Yeah.
Definitely love the training. Like that's an integral part of my day-to-day life. It's something that for me, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
I know that's not for everybody, but I definitely think, which we've mentioned a few times on the podcast, it's important for people to sometimes be a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
Even if you need to do that just for 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
And I think in most relationships, if you say to your partner, I just need to do something for me,
Yeah.
I think that's important to give them that.
Yeah.
Because if you're stuck in the grind of
Life.
married life, working, or single life, and just working, that can get quite draining, especially if
Yeah.
you're into bad habits and things like
Yeah.
that. So I think finding your outlet is an integral
It's a
part.
must. It's a non-negotiable.
Oh, 100%.
It's got to be a non-negotiable for a better lifestyle. You've got to have
And
something.
I think, like, if anybody out there listening in regards to, like, you know, the alcohol consumption and anything else that might come with, try and find healthy habits to push you away from getting into that rut, because it's a slippery slope and it can happen quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to get out there and find their reason, what
Their
is their
why.
mind, and
Yeah.
their why, exactly. That might be a gym, that might be going for walks, that might be catching up with a friend for a coffee.
Beach,
once a
whatever
week,
it is. It
whatever
doesn't
it
have
is.
to cost you money either.
No, exactly.
You know, what's it
100%.
cost to go down for a swim at the beach?
But yeah, similar to you, mate, I want to, my goal is to again look forward for this year to build the businesses to another level, which again is a grind in itself, as you know.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a reason of mine, and you know, just to be happy and just a better me.
Well, mate, you're already 10 steps ahead because you've knocked the alcohol consumption down. So,
It's
mate,
been hard, man.
yeah, of course.
It's been hard, and you know, it's important to know that there's places out there that can help you as well. There's, you know, services like Lifeline, and you can go and see your GP to have a chat about if you think that you have a problem. And I know, to be honest, that's the hardest step.
Admitting it.
first.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, because you don't want to be... People have got that fear if they do admit it that they're going to get judged by everyone. If you do start drinking again, they're like, he's off the bandwagon, man. He's watched his fucking space. He's lost the plot. But, you know, at the point, you might just have
And at
one...
the end of the day, mate, depending on whatever it may be in your life, like, your true friends are going to support you regardless of what
100%.
you're going to do.
The one thing I can say, you've got to get a good network around you, man.
100%.
If you don't have a good network...
And even those friends, you know, that you might go to the pub with every day and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, come on, Kyle, come on, mate.
Yeah.
Sip a few after on Friday.
100%.
But if you say, yeah, boys, I'll just come down and have a Coke.
Yeah.
If they went, oh, nah, fuck off, we don't want you to come and do that, then obviously they're not your people.
That's exactly
But
right.
if they go, yeah, mate, just come down and have a
down.
Coke, no worries.
We
We'll
wanna
just
hang
catch
out.
up for a chat anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what's most important here, and that's what I think for this half an hour that we're going to try and do, people, every 2 weeks. It's just been a bit busy. Between technical issues and all sorts of things. Plus we're in here sweating like it's a sauna. I think that's the most important thing, surrounding yourself with your people, and those people who can't invest in you aren't really worth
Your
being...
time.
No.
Know your worth.
Exactly.
Know your worth.
You know, it took us a long time to realise that.
Don't do what we did.
Yeah, I know. And then, so I think that's the important message about today. And we'd love to get more comments on our videos of some topics you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah.
I know we've been banging on it for the last couple of episodes about getting some guests, but that is coming shortly.
Yeah.
We've got some interest in that. If anybody's keen to sponsor us, we'd always be down for
Yeah.
that too.
Hell yeah.
Even if you just want to, you know, pop in and have a chat with us, we'd always love it. Only 5-10 minutes of your time. Doesn't have to be half an hour. We can talk shit for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think that's been a good start to the year, mate. I
100%.
feel like I've interviewed you more than me.
That's
talking,
cool, man.
but
That's always
maybe
awesome.
next time you can do that for me. And
Absolutely.
I'm just scared that I might break down and
That's okay, mate.
see the real me.
I'll have the boxes. Don't worry. It'll be all good.
All right, legends.
All right, guys.
Love yous.
See you
and
soon.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Ciao.